Terence Crawford offered the best fight in boxing by a star Canelo Alvarez schooled. Stay tuned to Fighting District. Subscribe. Terence Crawford's future in boxing remains unclear. However, contenders continue to stake their claim for a showdown with the unbeaten star. Just a month removed from his historic undisputed title fight win over Canelo Alvarez, the undefeated Nebraska puncher added the super middleweight crown to his ever-growing trophy cabinet. However, admitting his immediate future in the sport is still up in the air. Terence Crawford continues to draw links to a whole host of historic matchups, and the latest to throw their name into the proverbial hat to face the Omaha star is a former undisputed kingpin who also shared the ring with Mexican icon Canelo. Terence Crawford defeated Canelo Alvarez on September 13th in the fight of the century via unanimous decision. Crawford moved up 2 weight classes and put on a spectacular performance to walk away as the undisputed super middleweight champion. The win marked Crawford winning a world title in a 5th weight class, and he also became the first male boxer in history to become the undisputed champion in 3 different weight classes. Canelo, meanwhile, suffered his first defeat at the 168 lbs division. Much has been made about what's next for the pair. Canelo is set to undergo elbow surgery, pushing his possible return to the ring back to mid-2026, while a rematch next year still seemed like a possibility. Journalist Dan Rafael has reported that no such clause was. Rafael claimed that Canelo doesn't have a rematch clause against Crawford. While he has 2 fights left in the contract with Turki Al-Sheikh, an automatic rematch is not a given, unless His Excellency explicitly wants that. Canelo, though, remains the face of boxing despite his defeat. Hence, a Crawford rematch won't be denied if the Mexican wants it next. Crawford has opened a lot of doors for a next mega fight with his win against Canelo. David Benavidez, Dimitri Bivol, Janibek Alimkhanoli, Jaron Boots Ennis, and more have emerged as options for Bud Crawford. None of those aforementioned names, though, can compete with Canelo when it comes to sheer star power and achievements. Boxing fans often have a short memory. Hence, it's easy to forget that Canelo almost single-handedly carried the sport for nearly a decade. He has a global fan base and earns significantly more than anyone else. Fighting Canelo also secures the biggest payday of a fighter's career. It's hard to imagine Crawford passing up the chance to have a rematch, especially after winning the first fight. Fans have to wait and see how the situation evolves and what's next for either Canelo or Crawford. He reckons the fights against Gennady Golovkin and Dimitri Bivol took a lot out of Canelo, and he isn't the fighter he once was. Garcia also claimed that Canelo was smart to avoid Benavidez, but made a mistake by facing Crawford. Triple G will hit you with that fucking hook like that, right on top of your skull. He hit Canelo with some sub-ow. He added about Canelo not fighting Benavidez. Well, Canelo was smart on that one, but he should have been smart with Terence Crawford. He shouldn't have fought Terence Crawford. Canelo is now set to undergo an elbow surgery, meaning he will spend an extended period on the sidelines. Alvarez isn't expected to return before mid-2026. Therefore, a potential Crawford rematch will also have to wait. There's no clarity yet regarding Canelo's next career move. Benavidez claimed that Canelo didn't take the fight as seriously as Crawford did, resulting in his defeat. He thinks Canelo's ego was too inflated and he thought Crawford would be a walk in the park. He added, "I'm not talking silo about Canelo. It just didn't look like he really prepared 100%. He was throwing 10 punches around. Or I think it was, his ego's that big, that he thinks, oh, I'm just gonna walk through Crawford, catch him with a good shot, and it's gonna be done." One of Canelo Alvarez's most recent victims is trying to stake his claim to fight Terence Crawford. Now that the iconic super fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, which Crawford won via unanimous decision, taking Canelo's undisputed super middleweight titles, took place over a month ago, the boxing community is no longer riding the collective high that came from witnessing that generational performance from Crawford. While there has been a lot of speculation about where each guy will go next in their career, along with who they might decide to fight next if they don't elect retirement. It's clear that both Canelo and Crawford are going to take some time away from the ring. Therefore, these next few months could prove crucial when it comes to a fighter staking his claim for fighting either Canelo or Crawford when one of these two juggernauts makes their return. What's for sure is that both guys will have no shortage of people who want to face them, if only because the money that can be made when fighting a guy of Canelo's or Crawford's caliber. Jermall Charlo states case to fight Terence Crawford next. The only man who has fought both Canelo and Crawford in his professional boxing career is British legend Amir Khan, who lost to Canelo in May 2016 and came up short against Crawford in April 2019. However, former light middleweight champion Jermall Charlo, who lost to Canelo back in May 2023, which was his most recent fight, is trying to be the second person to face both fighters, which he conveyed in a recent interview. If they gave me an offer for Crawford, and me and Crawford, I talked to him once time, and it would be an honor to get in the ring with him. Just because of what he's done to become undisputed. He completed something that I didn't complete. So being in the ring against Crawford would be amazing, Charlo said, per an ex-post from Ring Magazine. I don't think that there's no other fight out there in the boxing world for Crawford to make right now.